Hello and welcome back to the Google APIs for Rust and YouTube uploader development stream. It's Byron speaking, and before moving on with my actual main topic for today that hopefully concludes milestone 0.1, I figured that considering I want to upload crates, I should be really sure that my version scheme is holding up to the task, and currently it is not. Because what I have currently, I just want to get you up to speed here, is I have a file that contains a kind of general crate version. So the cargo build version, there's actually a crate version. I might rename this field at some point, but for now, it's just as I said. And this version is applied to all the crates I produce. So for YouTube and Drive and whichever API, it gets this stamp on it. And that's all. It just gets this. The protocol version itself is just included in the name of the API. So if you have a look at all the names set there, I might just want to filter this to grab, on the clean ones. No. So you see how these names look like here. And it's basically just a major version that is appended to it. And if there's anything else in the version, then it's also appended to it. So the crate name is altered depending on the version that you're having. And this makes total sense because the protocol, you can have multiple protocols that are valid in parallel. So the crate version wouldn't allow that. I mean, it would allow it, but on the other hand, I like this to be explicit in code even. And if people want to upgrade the version of the protocol from 1 to 2, they will have to modify the external statements in their code. And of course, they are always able to just rename the crate and say, hey, I don't want to include the version. So that they basically just say, okay, import or extern crate Google App State 1, which is for me just App State or something even shorter, So basically, I don't mind that because people can do as they please, but I kind of set a tone here, and I just say, okay, this is how it is for the protocol versions, and they look quite good, as you can see, as long as they're not beta or some weird branch thing here that I don't know what that is supposed to be. It seems like a branch. Also admin 2 here, admin 2 email migration, admin 1 directory. It's just how it is, but it's okay. I think it's sound. However, there's of course more to that, because whenever you update the JSON files here by querying the discovery service, you'll see that often this stuff changes for real, and sometimes it just changes, and the only fields that change are e-tag and revision. So probably, I'm guessing they filter out some fields here, and internally they have a new revision with new stuff, but it's only relevant to the server side, and that doesn't even show up on the client side. And I could deal with that, but for now I don't want to. I just trust Google there. Even though the API doesn't physically change, as long as these things change, I think this is what really matters. And people should know which exact revision of the API they're dealing with. And I have to put this somewhere. Obviously, I can't put this information here because that would kind of blow up the name and would just make it very, very ugly. But fortunately, Semver does have a way to specify this, which is build metadata. And it must immediately be following the patch level or the pre-release level, which means for us, we can produce crate versions like this, which are valid Semver versions, which should work just fine with Cargo. That's what I hope. Maybe they're not fully implementing this, but I do think they are. Is there a Cargo crate? I guess not. But maybe it is. It should be Cargo Rob. Yeah, at least there's a Semver crate, I think, and I do hope they use it. Who did it? Alex Crichton, yeah. So I guess it's something that Cargo uses as well. Would make sense. Semantic version parsing and comparison. I also do hope they implement the version 2. I will just find out, I'm not researching right now. I'm just curious. Okay, cool, they have built information here. So they implement the version I need, and I guess they can handle it. Cool. And this is just what I'm going to add. And then I'm on the safe side. So basically the create version itself, it just denotes the version of the generator that generated it. So if I change my code, I increment these levels accordingly. And this is the basically release, how is this called? Revision of the respective API. And that way we have complete control over, or we know exactly what kind of API is in that crate. And that's awesome. And this build metadata, I think it doesn't even matter for version comparison, I think. And it shouldn't matter to people anyway. It's just really to keep it in sync and not degenerate information. Good, let's start that. I think I can start out with a utility macro here that will provide me with the create version, because I'm doing this in Mako because I want to have access to the environment, to the context. And this is only there if I am in Mako mode. So that's template mode here. Whatever I type will go out into the file literally. So here I want to access my cargo build version, and then I say plus, and then I say revision, and that's really it. That will create what I need. Then we can have a look at the cargo Mako template, which we'll now use. Do I have util here? I do have the util namespace. That's awesome. So I can just say util create version. It can just call it directly, and it will be what it needs to be. And let's see where else that pops up. I just search for it. Cargo build version. Here we use it. Default user agent. Yeah, that's the code version. I think that's totally all right. So here we just use the build version. That's fine. Then in the main, yeah, we mentioned basically what we are generated from, and I think here we want to use the create version. So it's util create version. Because this is really, I mean, the documentation may change in the moment the revision adds a field or something. So this should be precise. And here we use it as well, dependencies. Ah, yeah. Okay, I mentioned the exact version here. So, yeah, I might change this at some point. I'm not sure how Cargo handles this anyway. So, you know how it deals with wildcards. I know that there is this wildcard that just says any version, but I'm not sure if it's like o.wildcard.x. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if it's properly documented either. But for now, I just go with the create version here. And at some point, I might just switch over to this, because actually I might do this right now. Just because I think this might be what I want, because now people get the right version anyway. They don't have to limit themselves to a particular release, because the code should remain obviously compatible. What I probably, I think that's okay for now. Let's simplify this. And here we can, I'm still considering cargo build version. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to change this right now. Doesn't feel too wrong to me to make this necessary. And that's the thing I've just added. Good. Let's see how that comes out. Make APIs. Oh, non-type has no attribute max size. Okay. Oh. Actually, with the previous commit, I broke my stuff. because I'm accessing max size here, even though some methods just don't support upload. Silly me. Silly me. Because previously I didn't need to protect it. The max size is actually an attribute on the method, so I don't need to kind of be careful about this. Max size. Here it is. Method. I think this is what I actually want to use. Do I have my method data here? I do. Good. So let's do this. This is just M here. Size 2 bytes I probably do not have. No. Size 2 bytes. Good. So now it should work in all cases. And we should be fine. Yeah. And my generation gets slower and slower. I mean, I've added stuff and made more crosslinks and more checks. And this shows, even though the generation time is still nothing compared to the compile time. So I'm not complaining, not at all. It's like a second or something for big ones, which generate 40,000 lines of code in a file that is about 2.4 megabyte. You know, it's Python after all, so this stuff is not fast. It can't be. But on the other hand, it's super convenient to use, and I think that totally outweighs anything else. Good. That was working. And let's just have a look at one of these guys, like YouTube. Group migration. Let's build it. Let's see if it. So it has issues. I do hope it is not because of my plus there. Group migration cargo. Oh, really? Did I keep this? Did I? Oh, there it is. Shit. Oh, man. That looks better. Cool. And it likes it. Nice. I was afraid for a moment. But considering what I did to the cargo, it's all right to fail parsing this. Awesome. So I guess this is how it's gonna be looking like. I would risk a test publish, you know that? Because, yeah, just one. Let's do this. Let's see how that works. I just want to see that this really works. That I'm willing to have one crate that sucks. So Google Groups Migration, that's going to be the names. I'm confident about that. I like them. And I've put some work into it to get good version names here and good names for this thing. So, 1, 2, 3, go. We'll rebuild everything, but you know, over a build time should be relatively all right. Okay, it's still not failing. You guys look at this. I think I'm, if not the first crate, one of the few that actually uses the build information here. The build metadata, that's how it's called in Semver speak. So the cool thing is, it's cool and not cool if you use make, that while building with cargo, it will parallelize the individual build processes based on the amount of CPUs you have. And the system says, I've got 8. Obviously, I've just got 4 real ones. And for I/O intense processes, that's totally cool to overallocate a bit and just use the logical cores as well. But if you have make and make parallelizes, like you have 4 make jobs, and then each of these will spawn or will use 8 cores, then you are slightly overallocating, and that's something you feel. Let's go to crates and have a look how it looks like. Google Groups Migration 1, 0.01. Cool. Complete library to interact with Groups Migration Protocol version 1. Awesome! And here's the versions. I like it. Yeah, so this doesn't even build for people right now because CERD might just be not up to date enough, and I'm super bleeding edge. Let's see how the links work. First time for me. Oh, the documentation link should be specific. So there we've got a bug. Homepage. Oh, that is cool. I didn't expect that right now, but oh, there we go. There we've got a bug. And I should have seen that. So this should not be timestamp. This should be this. And I didn't upload it yet, so that is fine. But the timestamp thingy is wrong. And obviously, the documentation link is wrong. Cool. Easy enough. Good to have done it now and not with like 70 APIs. Good. Baby steps. Don't trust yourself too much. The documentation link, oh yeah, it just puts in the doc base URL. You can do better. Yeah, the index Mako definitely gets the right one. So how does it do that? Library to crate name, and then library name, and then index HTML. And it creates... Yeah, do I have better utilities for this? I might even put this... Oh no, I can return none here. This is why. Yeah. This is why I do as I do. As it's basically this thing. And the version. Oh, we use the API list. Crate version just uses this version. Yeah, so that's just the publicly accessible strings here. Okay. Crate name. Actually, we can just use the crate name here. Yeah, so it's basically doc base URL, and then we have util.crate name. Yep, and then index HTML. And doc root is probably set on a global level for him, for this specific, yeah, that's passed as variable. Good, and then it's index HTML in theory. And I think we don't even have to pass that. So that is it. Good, and that was the only real bug that we had here, huh? So let's rebuild that guy. Nope. Just generation. So it's groups migration cargo. Produces this documentation link. Which works. Cool, and that's what you want. Then you can get to the documentation index here if you like, or jump right to the official documentation, which is that, or jump to GitHub which is here once I've uploaded that. I might even do that. Git add, again, group my. Excuse me. I think it's yeah. Oh shit! I actually don't want to. I have to be careful now. Because the target, I could easily, if I force this, targets are excluded. Yeah. Yeah, I have to be careful, but I think I can do it. Basically, if I force this, then I get all the target data as well that I do not want. So I will just kill this. And now the only thing that should be left is stuff that I want, except for the timestamp. Yeah, I would get that as well, but I will just remove this later on. Git add f. Oh, it's not responding. I think it's trying to be smart. My shell is trying to be smart. Oh no. Don't try to be smart. Good. Good RM. Cached, and the timestamp goes away, and the log goes away. Yeah, this just for this one. I will adjust my git ignore accordingly later. So the .log files, do I ignore them as well? I do. Recursively, and these one as well. Good, I think the ignore is good. I just have to eventually remove that one, and then I can easily add without forcing and without getting any of the files that I don't want. So yeah, that's cool. Let's update YouTube. I mean, why not? And then I can get rid of all that stuff and be done. Yeah, but I think I'm good. I will keep this 0.1 now. I will not update it because that would basically force me to update everything. But you know what? Let's try to enforce an update of the groups migration JSON, which would update this name. It hasn't changed in a while, as you can see, but I will try anyway. Make etc. Okay, there's no auto completion. Make etc API. Well, groups migration v1 API.json. So it should have a target for this. Well, can I force this somehow? Probably not. Update, yeah. Update JSON. Ah, force, cool. That's how it works. Let's see if it changed. No, I mean that revision definitely would have changed, and apparently it's still in the year 2014. I don't know. Do they shut down Google Groups? Can it be this why you have this migration API that allows you to basically pull your stuff? Could be. I mean, anyway, I think I'm done with that one. Let's just add it all and say feature cargo create version plus revision that way crate names reveal exact information about the contained API revision. So the crate version is the CodeGen version. The revision, which is build metadata, is the version of, well, is exact version of API schema, basically. And that is that. That's really it. Which concludes our issue 38. Nice. Cool. I shall push this just to get the groups migration code there, and I will try the link one more time. Crates.io. Show me. Repository. Hey! Ah, it's still time. Oh no! No! I forgot this one! Ah! So dumb. Why is this the timestamp? Repository URL? Really? Oh. The output dir. So the output dir that is passed here is that, which is wrong. It's not gen root stamp, it's gonna be gen root. Yeah. Shit. I forgot. Okay, let's regenerate. Groups migration. No, not this one, please. Come on. Ah! Make. And YouTube 3. Let's have a look. Groups migration cargo. That looks better. So I should now be able to use this. Excuse me? Oh. It's actually totally wrong. Because that's going to be master. Yeah. I think I get the link right here, but get it wrong elsewhere. Where is it? Code. Source code can be found on cargo repo base URL. Yeah, let's put this into a macro. Directories output plus. Actually, that's. Oh no, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Let's just macrofy this. Oops, it's here. So that's gonna be GitHub repo. GitHub directory GitHub. Well, source root or something. It's a bit long, but at least it's specific. Okay, will this resolve? Repo base, stream master directories output, util library name. Yes, it will. No, wait, that's us. That will be it. Okay. So let's put this in here, cargo Mako. I was a bit quick there, I must admit. Documentation, repository. Huh. Sure, that's the main. Yeah, where's this used? I have to be careful, because that's kind of... I mean, it probably is only used there, to be honest. Or nowhere, because it's so wrong. It was the stem for most of the time now, which is not, not what it's supposed to be. I might even remove it if it's not used. And the output dir, I don't know if I need it. But yeah, I will just keep it. Probably it's unused, to be honest. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's only used there. And considering it's worthless, util that. I'll just not set it. Good, and I will also remove that one. GitHub source root URL, which should also be used in the library here, which will greatly simplify this piece of code. Yeah. So that is util. Nice, let's have a look. Let's make. Oh, there's a new line at the end. Shit. My bad. Better. Good, so that should now be a valid link. Oh. And it is. Nice. And these ones work, and that. I like this. Look at how beautiful this is. With the short name here that makes sense and is like a quick overview, and then you hover over it and you have this tooltip. That also looks good because I stick to the 80 character rule. That's awesome. I mean, that's really good. I like it. How could I have worked without that before? I'm asking myself. I think I was wrong removing it, because that is still in common. Excuse me. Probably... probably I can find this. Ah, yeah, it's not up to date yet. No, it's not up to date yet. That's the problem here. The local version. Let's have a look at the local version. Doc. Yeah, that one. I think here it works. Oh yeah, true. I kicked out the folder, the target folder, so it has to rebuild. But anyway, and I shall prepare commit anyway, because I think I'm building, slowing down everything. I think that will work. Let's have a look at the documentation link. Groups migration readme. Oh yeah, this doesn't contain the source code. Groups migration lib. This one does. And that points to GitHub, Google API, stream master again, groups migration. Okay, so that's correct. Awesome. I think we are good now, finally. Fix. How did I call it last time? Cargo? Cargo. It's the source code link. Previously it pointed to a timestamp file. Good. Unified, also unified repository source code link generation and simplified depth Markov file. Good. And I think I just want to relate it to 38, I think it was. Yeah. Good. So now this is done, finally, and I can feel happy about myself. Cool. So now it's already 2 APIs in here, and more to come eventually. Maybe at the end of today, my computer will be very busy generating or making cargo publishes. All right, that shall be it. Thanks for watching, and the next issue will be the big one here that we have to finish today, ideally.